Hey, how are you? I'm Pavni. In this video, I'm going to tell you as an interviewer how I interview the candidates for data engineering roles. So, I'm a data engineer with 4 years experience and have been with Capgemini for a year now. Throughout the year, I took interviews for several candidates for data engineering role, both for Capgemini as well as for the client that I'm working with. Well, these are not the internal interviews to enter into the project, but the actual interviews to enter into the company. I only take the first round of the interview since I have only 4 years of experience. Next rounds will be taken by more experienced people, leads, managers like that, someone with at least like having 10 years of experience. But I will give an overview of how next rounds will be too in the same video. Anyway, to start with my interview process, which is the first round, I will get a meeting scheduled with the candidate with around 45 minutes, but if I get the glimpse of candidate's capabilities before that, I don't waste further time and I will give report of interview status to my upper hierarchy. I only ask questions or scenarios on the technologies or projects that the candidate has worked on. So I make sure to take some time before the interview schedule to go through the candidate resume, and I get the outline of the tech that candidate has worked on and his number of years of experience to decide on the type of questions I would be asking. Although it's L1, it's not gonna be on the same level for all levels of experienced people. I decide the difficulty based on the experience the candidate is holding. And also, my first question would be I ask the candidate to give me the little overview of his previous companies, tech skills, and previous projects that he worked on. The purpose of this question is not only make the candidate to be warmed up for the interview, but I also actually assess their answer is compatible with their resume or not. That I would like to ask a programming question and a SQL query just to assess the basic level coding skills. Of course, candidate is free to choose the programming language of their comfort to code. I always ask only arrays or lists if we are referring to Python here. That is because we never use any advanced DS like linked lists or trees, at least as an applied data engineer. Strings would be too easy. I feel like a question on arrays would be perfect to understand candidates' basic coding skills. Coming to SQL query, I will ask a medium level query on either the combination of joins, aggregations, and group by, or on window functions. I don't mind the wrong syntax unless it is like two words. I just see how the candidate is following the logic, how he actually writing the structure or flow in the code. I feel this basic programming question and SQL query are basic minimum for a D. So if the candidate doesn't able to do that, I won't be having very good impression. In fact, I expect the candidate to solve these questions in faster pace without lag, since these should be very easy for an average data engineer. After this, I would like to ask a couple of concept questions on either data pipelines or data warehousing, depends on the kind of project the candidate has worked on. For example, if his primary work has been in building data pipelines, I will ask questions like how do you handle the data quality in a pipeline, or how do you perform change data capture in whatever the tool that he has worked on. Or if his work was mostly on data warehousing, then I will ask questions like how do you handle slowly changing dimensions, or how do you handle data archiving and purging in a data warehousing solution. After this, I will move on to the project specific questions. I will ask him to explain the latest project he worked on in detail. Then I will ask questions only limited to that, like why they chose the tools or tech that they chose, the timelines of the project, the role and contribution that the candidate has made, what is the process they followed for requirement collection, the data sources, any complex transformations they did, what are the challenges they faced, how did they optimize the storage or processing for better performance, how did the scalability has maintained if there are fluctuations in the volume of the data, any cross-functional teams that they worked on, etc., etc. So this will help me understand the candidate's project experience and their understanding of the best practices in data engineering domain, and their collaboration and communication skills, which are also crucial for the data engineering role. So then I will give them time if they have any questions for me, and I would have a very good impression if they ask some meaningful questions. So that's about the first round of the interview that I take. Next rounds will be with more experienced people with little more interview duration, like an hour or more than that. So obviously more questions, technical and functional, and understanding on the concepts will be tested, like system design, cloud exposure, etc. And they do ask more on project specific and use case specific scenarios, which needs a little bit more expertise than you would be needing in the first round. Well, that's it for this video. If you find this helpful, please click the like button and feel free to comment any questions or suggestions. Thanks for watching.